Hi, welcome to another week of this podcast, Worthwhile. My name is Meggie Houle, and this week I want to talk about money and how we are having money blocks, where we are living in the shadow of our money, and what we are doing that's actually stopping us from making the money we want to make in our lives. Now, I went recently through my own blocks around money, which were all about me not wanting money to be part of my life anymore. There's a part of me that was just wanted money to be something that wasn't existing at all in my life. But then the reality is I cannot go on and do what I'm doing in my life without money, because I'm still living in this 3D world, in a body, in a system that require money. But then what was happening is that me having this relationship with money and having this hateful money, how much it's controlling people's lives, how much people are stopping themselves from being happy, from being kind, from helping other people just for the sake of money, is what making me want to throw up sometime. But this same behavior and feelings I'm having towards money is exactly what I'm creating coming into my life. So I'm actually stopping from having a healthy relationship with money because I am not allowing money to exist. And you can be the most spiritual person in life. If you're not having a good relationship with money, you're not going to attract money. Whatever abundance that you feel you are, if you have any kind of feelings negatively towards money, this is what you're putting out there. Now, I thought I was in some ways doing the right thing by not allowing and not making money a priority or something important in my life. But because of that, the relationship, the other side of this was that I was also pushing money away. I didn't want to see it and I hated it, which means that I also hate receiving it. If you hate seeing people with money and you're not having your own relationship being healthy with money, then this is what you're creating around you as well. No matter what, if you wish there was no more money in this world, which may or may not happen, when you're looking into the future, waiting for the moment money is not going to be driving us in our lives, and you're waiting for that, you're actually not living in the present moment and having this healthy relationship with money. And you're still projecting and living in either some anger and hate or disapproval, dislike. It are still feelings that you have in your body, and they exist. So in some ways, and I'm not the only one in that situation. And I had this conversation because I realized that's what I was doing. Because the more I was going on, the more I was disliking money and in some ways avoiding anything to do about money, even handling money, managing money, even thinking about how much money I want to make, like totally avoiding the whole thing altogether because I just didn't like how money was used in this world. But because of that, I'm also a victim. I'm also a slave of money because of it. And so this podcast this week, I really want to touch on some of those maybe patterns and subconscious thoughts you've been having around money. Like any kind of story that we have around money is driving us in the subconscious level, thinking that we're doing the right thing, but any kind of negative feeling about it are what's making us feeling in the scarcity, being a bit more greedy, and we're not giving back enough in our lives, which means that we're not receiving either. It's very interesting because I did a workshop recently, and the day after, I had someone bought into my online course, and when I shared my price, he asked me, "Oh, that's a lot of money. Do you think you're worth that much?" And that was the most amazing test that I could have ever had. Because at that moment, I had done the work. I had done just this masterclass, really sitting and where I was valuing money in my life and what kind of weight and thoughts and feelings I was putting with money. And at that exact moment, it was an amazing test that the universe sent me and not putting my worth into the amount of money I'm charging. I think my time was the price I give to it, because I wouldn't want to give less price, and I didn't want to bargain, because I put the price that I felt fair for myself, for my time, for all the work I've put into building that course, and the upcoming time that I will be attention I'll be giving to that person. And so at that moment, I look at that person and I said, this has nothing to do with my value as my worth. This is just the price of my course that I believe it's worth, and that my time is worth that, and all the work I put into that is worth that much, and the value you're getting out of it, it's worth way more than that, right? And because of that, you bought into my course. But you see, we tend to attach our self-worth with money. And we may have any kind and all kind of background with money. We were raised that we were told that if you actually had money, that you had to give your money away, because then you were greedy if you were not doing that. And I think subconsciously what it does, when you have family that also live in the scarcity of money, or always never have enough money, or family members that always talk about money, that they never have enough, but they are still doing other things. But then when you ask them simple things, they never have enough. It's always about money. Everything's about money, and the conversation always revolves about money. And so when you listen to the people that you grew up with, how they talk about it, then it is a place for you for self-reflection on how you were conditioned about money, what they made you believe about money. And even you may have some reaction on people feeling like you weren't safe with money. I remember when I was younger, when I was like, I think 12 or 13, we're going into 15, something like that. But I was working as a babysitter, and I had another job. I was, about 14. So I had like money, but everything was cash, and I was not spending it. So I was like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And I went on a vacation for a week, stayed with my cousin, something like that. And when I came back, my money was gone. And because my parents used it to pay something. And that created a little trauma with me that, if I have money, someone is going to take it. And so whatever relationship I created then, and I remember that day because I worked really hard for that money. And I received the money back. But there is this little sense that how our situation, our environment shaped us around money. That either if we have money, people are going to take it. So sometimes it feels safer to not have it. Or maybe we had money that was given or lent to us, and then maybe we lost it and we couldn't put it back, or someone stole money from us. And then so we also make stories around money is not safe. It's not safe to have money. And that people are going to take it, steal it, and there's a lot of work that's done for it. Times, and that you cannot get back. And that's what the exchange is with money, right? And so our word has nothing to do with the amount of money we're making. And there's a lot of belief that is around that, which means that that's where we're having a lot of issues around money, because our self-worth is not matching what we believe about ourselves, but it's matching how our income is actually coming in and how much we are doing, how much we're making. That's where we're basing our self-worth, which should be the other way around. We need to have and create this self-worth that's undeniably and that no one can argue with. Your self-worth is. And you put a price to work that you've done, hours that you've commit, that seems fair to you as a fair exchange. And so no matter how people are wanting to challenge you on the amount of money that you are making, either saying that you're making so much money, you should be giving money away, has nothing to do with your self-worth, but how, and if you're making less and very little, it has nothing to do with your self-worth either. If you feel it's fair for you to make a little money and you feel happy with making very little money in your life, really that's what matters. Other people are going to have expectation and that they're going to project on you, or they're going to tell you what they believe they want in their life. And I love hearing different train of thoughts and different perspective on how people are seeing money, how people are handling money, how people are behaving around money and believing about money. Because I can always learn something from it. Either I can find patterns of my own that I wasn't aware of, or I can see how much I've grown, or this information is taking in and I can share it with others, and always have kind of a purpose along the way where someone needs what I've learned. Now, one of my mentors shared when I paid a lot of money for a program, and because of that, I ended up showing up every single time to make it worth. Now, I also have people that pay for my program, and it's not cheap. I've had a full-on program when I'm there, one-on-one coaching, and people spend a lot of money for me in a package, and they still don't show up or they give up. And for me, it was a service to help people, to charge them the amount I thought that will be worth my time and worth their time. But even though they will pay over $1,000 to work sessions with me, they ended up stopping and not showing up anymore because they were challenged in some ways. And for me, it was a service to charge that much money, because when you put that much money, then you are giving a lot of resources, and then for them, challenging them and motivating them and showing up for themselves. Showing up for themselves and not giving up. That was a service. It's a service that we do sometimes, charging people money. And it doesn't matter how much you charge for anything. You can be charging $5,000 and people will think it's cheap because they've seen other programs that were $10,000 for the same price. You can be charging $200 and people would think that it's really expensive because they've seen something else that was cheaper. The way you are pricing or paying for anything in life is so individual of someone's personal experience, that how you can show up in your life, on how you're spending your money, is to choose what are the stories that you are living with. Now, here's an example too. There is this woman who was a doula, a birth doula. And the birth doula who was hired by professionals, she was hired by celebrities, and she charged over $100,000. And there's this other birth doula, and the hometown birth doula, which she charged $500. At the end of the day, they are doing the same exact thing. They are giving birth to a baby. Now, maybe the service around it, maybe how they show up, what they give, but it's just the amount of money that they thought their time was worth for. The person that's charging $100,000 for a service and the person that's charging $500 for a service can offer the same service. It just depends how they were conditioned in the world, that they charging or paying on what the stories is around money. And so how do you know? I think this is a big idea around where do you spend your money, and are you spending your money on things that are of value for you, or how are you spending your money? Are you spending it for things that are actually beneficial for you, on something that are really your priority, or are you spending your money on things that are based on what you think other people's perception should be of you, of where you should spend your money? So I think it's very important, because in this society, we have a lot of drama and trauma around money. So there's a lot of work that we need to be doing, because, I mean, time is money, but money is time. Yes and no, because time, there's no price I will give to time, because that's the one thing that no one can ever buy. We can't buy time. You can't go buy another 10 years of your life, no matter how much money you have. And where I started really understanding how I wanted to put what money meant to me is in the situation that I was. And that's something you can do for yourself at home. Visualizing how will your life be different if you were making, I don't know, let's say $1 million, if you're not making that much money yearly, right? Like if right now you are living poorly or you always thinking and worrying about money, how will your life be different if you had an infinite amount of money right now? And for some people, which is very interesting, and that was for me at this moment, was that even if I had all this money tomorrow, I wouldn't know really what to do with it, because I'm living my life the way I want to live it. And there is nothing at this moment that need to be changed. I wouldn't, maybe yes, of course, if you had that amount of money, you would probably want to invest and do some investment and things like that. But it wouldn't be changing the way I'm living life. The way I'm living life should be, and for you as well, should be how you are living life, even if you have $1 million. Now, that can be very different in the sense that maybe if it's a different country, but in your daily life, when you wake up and what you're doing, how will you be different if you have more money? Because understand that people who have billionaire and millionaire, they have the same problem that you have. They going through confusion sometimes. They have emotional issues and they have sometimes trauma and things. Life keep going. It never stops. So they have challenges, roller coaster that come by. It's not because you have money that those internal blocks that we have go away. You can pay even the best therapist in the world to help you with any of that. It won't go away until that therapist cannot make anything go away for you. You can still have cancer, you make billions of dollars. There's nothing that will make cancer go away for you, even if you have all that money. And you can also be even more stressed having more money. So how are you living your life right now? And in creating a space of peace, in creating the life that you want with things that you love around you, that things that feel safe and comfortable. And that's where your money should go first. And where your money is also should be going is on things that will make your life a bit more easy. So if you are an entrepreneur, for some people, outsourcing certain things is actually giving them more freedom to keep doing more of the things. And I'm saying that in a sense that sometimes to relieve the stress, and the stress is the most impactful for our health, but remove the stress of having too much to do and then sometimes paying someone, relieve that stress, which means that we are being more productive and doing the other things that we need to be doing because someone is helping us with that stress. And we need to value what much we are paying and what we are paying and what is actually valuing us in our life to have this kind of help. Now, I talk about my book. I'm a best-selling author. I finished what you start last year. And it was a lot of money to help to get this coaching and get someone to help me to write this book and all that. But if someone asked me how much it costs, the first answer will be like, wow, that was a lot of money. But it's not even how I see it personally, because it's, and I think she charged now $25,000 to write a book, but it goes from point A to point B for her. When you work with her, and she helps you write the book, the title, the cover, the editing, the publishing, like all the things. And for me, this $25,000, writing this book doesn't really have money attached to it. I didn't do it for the money. I did it because I had the need to do it. And I thought this person was the best person to help me to do that. And she valued her work to be that way, that much. And so I pay her that much. And then I receive what this had value for me that was worth more than $25,000. And even all the transformation that I got from even writing the book is worth more for me in my personal life, or how much I've grown just writing the book, because it's just an expression of self, that to not only write it, but to actually publish something like that, that really is a lot. And there's no amount of money I could have put on writing that book. But the person that helped me do it, she put an amount of value of the time and the attention in the work that she believed that this is worth for her to charge people that feel fair for her and balance and money belief. And you can get the same kind of program, maybe not entirely the same, for $1,000. What made me want to go to work with someone that will charge me $25,000 and someone will charge me $1,000? Because maybe I believe that the person charging me $25,000 I will have exactly what I need, and depending on what I need. And maybe I believe that this person is best suited to help me than the person charging me $1,000. So not only is experience important, but how my relationship with the person itself is actually making me want to work with a person. And at that point, after that, no matter what they charge, if I want to work with someone, no matter how much they charge, I'll pay that money, because it has nothing to do with the money itself. That's how they put a price for the exchange of the energy and time and the work they've done. And I'm paying it to be able to receive the wisdom from them. So that's how we end up making decisions around money. And if we stop just on the numbers, and of course, how do we balance everyday life with money and paying credit cards and things like that, that's just on the surface level. But higher than that, it's always an exchange. It's always an exchange. And if we always taking and always living in that place of scarcity and greed, and always taking from people what we can take for people, we cannot receive, because it goes in a wheel. The more we give, the more we receive. And so giving your time, giving your energy, it doesn't have to be money. And that's just because the currency is that now. Sometimes it may be different for some people. For some people, they would rather give money. For some people, they would rather give time back or anything. Whatever is fair, there's always an exchange happening in the way we actually contribute to energy exchange of the work and time and wisdom and what they value that to be. And that has nothing to do with their self-worth. The person that charged $1,000 is not less worthy than the person that charged $25,000. It just means that maybe they have more money block. And then they will attract people that also want to only pay $1,000, and may have those same kind of money blocks. So there's a purpose for that too, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it at all, because I think it will be unwise that everyone will be exactly the same in every area of life, right? We're all here to attract the people that need us with what we offer and the way we put value on. We will attract people that way. And so if we also value what we offer, we think inside inherently believe that what we offer is worth thousands of dollars. No one can challenge how much we put the money on, just like the clients that I talked about earlier. That's what I value on, because I dissociated my self-worth with that money. It doesn't matter how much I charge. If I think that's what my time and my work and everything I offer is worth that much, it has nothing to do with my self-worth. So the moment that we start agreeing and bargaining with people that think that what I offer is too expensive, that's because we are starting to attach of self-worth with it. Maybe it's not worth that much. No. You know what you charge is linked around the much time and work that you've put into it. And we have to be confident in what we offer is going to be attracting the right people in our life. Whatever service you offer, whatever things you're selling, whatever is your thing, how much you're paying others. I think that's the biggest lie of all, that we end up attaching too much of our self-worth around money, and those two are completely irrelevant from each other. And when we start doing that work on our self-worth level, then we're able to see money for what it really is, just an exchange of energy. But until we do that, we are going to be judging others, which every time we're judging, and that's going to be another podcast, but every time we're judging someone, that's how we judge ourselves. It's a complete mirror. And so to know when we are judging others that way, it's because it's a self-worth, but then not of the service and what they believe the time is worth and what you're willing to spend. And do your research, of course, and knowing the person and be around the person, knowing that that's really the person you want to work with. Okay? It's always research to do, so don't get scammed with anything. But really do your research, get to know the person you want to spend money on, and go around and do some exchange and see how good it feels when you give of your time, of your smile, of your energy, and how you're receiving back from it. And just pay attention on that this week and visualize what it would be for you if you have a lot of money and you were rich right now. How will your life be different? And start changing your life to reflect what this vision is for you before you make the money. Because when you have the vision of you rich happening in your life, you have abundance and richness in your life that just come easily with it, because it's just how you live it. Now, if you have anything you want to share with that, please feel free to reach out. And I hope that you get some insight from this and self-reflection on how we have story around money and how we can break them, how they can serve us to actually feel more at peace and less stress around the money and the exchange we do in our life. My name is Meggie Houle, and goodbye.